You clicked on this video because you're interested in buying either the HP Omen or one of the Legion Pros in 2024. Now I have the 7i and the 5i from the Pro series in front of me. With these models, there's a lot of different SKUs available, whether you're purchasing from Lenovo directly or HP store directly, or you're going to Amazon, Best Buy, B&H, or the like. What you'll be seeing out of these laptops in this video is the i9-14900HX and RTX 4080, the i7-14650H and RTX 4070, the i9-14900HX and RTX 4070. So those are the models that I was able to get here in my studio, and to give you a bit of a range and a price point to choose from between these three different models. Now, first and foremost, we're going to talk about the build quality and usability, and then we'll get into the performance later and ultimately help you make a buying decision that's right for you. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about the build materials of each laptop. We have a plastic top cover for the HP Omen, aluminum top cover for the Legion Pro 5i, and aluminum top cover for the Legion Pro 7i. Now for the bottom cover, we have an aluminum bottom cover on the HP Omen, we have a plastic bottom cover for the Legion Pro 5i, and an aluminum bottom cover for the Pro 7i. So one of the main differences between the Pro 7i and the Pro 5i is going to be plastic bottom cover versus aluminum. Now we go ahead and open up the laptops. We're going to have a plastic keyboard deck on the Lenovo Legion 7i, a plastic keyboard deck on the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i, and an aluminum keyboard deck on the HP Omen Transcend 16. So a variety of options when it comes to build materials for these laptops. Now, one of the biggest thing that sticks out to me before I turn on the laptops is you'll see that the HP Omen has a glossy screen and the Legion series has more of the matte display. So as I go and aim the screen towards my light, you can see it's very diffused. Whereas with the HP Omen, I mean, you can even see my face right there and the light. So this could be frustrating to some people who don't want to have a glossy screen. Now, for the 2023 version, I did a full review comparing the models. You can actually get this matte screen instead of the glossy screen. However, one thing I really like in 2024 is the bezel is now integrated into the screen instead of having that kind of cheap, chunky plastic bezel that the 2023 and models from before had previously. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the ports here. Check out our port selection for each of the laptops. So for the HP Omen, we have two USB Type-Cs and our headphone jack on the left side panel. For the Pro 5i, we have USB-A, USB-C, 7i, USB-A, USB-C. Along the back panels, we have the HP Omen with a USB-A, HDMI, network port, and our power adapter. Power adapters, USB Type-A's, HDMI, USB-C, and network ports. So the same ports for the Pro 7i and the Pro 5i. Now over on this side, we have our USB Type-A for the HP Omen. USB Type-A's, manual cutoff switch for the webcam, and the headphone jacks. So the benefit of the Legion series is going to be those two additional USB Type-A ports. All right, now let's quickly talk about the displays. For the HP Omen, like I said, we're gonna have that glossy display. It's gonna reach 392 nits of screen brightness at 100% sRGB, 97% Adobe RGB, and 99% DCI-P3, all at a delta E of 0.41. So very nice color accurate screen. It also has a refresh rate of 240 Hertz. Now, for the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i, 100% sRGB, 78% Adobe RGB, 79% DCI-P3, and 1.25 for the Delta E color accuracy. Now we have a refresh rate of 165 Hertz for the Legion Pro 5i. Now for the 7, we have a brightness of 532 nits, 100% sRGB, 91% Adobe RGB, and 100% DCI-P3 with a 0.97 Delta E, 240 Hertz refresh rate. So definitely the two that are going to be head to head as far as the features are going to be the Legion Pro 7i and the HP Omen. However, like I said, I've included the Pro 5i as a more budget-friendly alternative to these two options. If you're looking for some extra screen real estate, definitely check out the Lenovo L15 if you're on the go. But if you're in office, I definitely recommend the Lenovo 34-inch curved monitor, the G34W. Now, both of these monitors are a good price point and a good build quality, as well as screen resolution. And they have the simple features that make them great buys. Now, I know everybody's on a budget, so that's why I partnered with Lenovo to pick out these two monitors to showcase to you guys as great options for additional screen real estate. The L15 is a full Full HD 1920 by 1080 resolution. It receives power through the USB display port, so you don't have to plug it into the wall, which makes it super on-the-go friendly. It has a fold-out stand, so you don't have to carry any extra tools or gadgets or stands with you. It's built in. And it has pass-through power, so you can charge your other devices from the screen when it's plugged into your computer. On top of that, it has a good brightness of 243 nits. Now, if you're looking for something larger to be in your office, definitely check out the G34W. This is a WQHD display, meaning it's the step between 1080p and 4K. So a nice high resolution. It has a 170 Hertz overdrive refresh rate. If you're a creator needing color accuracy, not to worry, it has a 100% sRGB and 93% DCI-P3. It's super easy to set up, tilts, raises, and lowers to get the exact viewing angle that you're looking for. And as I mentioned earlier, both of these monitors have a great price point. Definitely check out the links in the description below for the live pricing. And if you do make a purchase, of course, I will get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you, but that's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. Now, while we're talking about the displays, that takes me into the battery life. Which one is going to be more power efficient? Now, for these battery life tests, we've set the screens to 20% screen brightness, Windows Battery Saver mode turned on, the quietest mode that it will allow inside of the command center, as well as iGPU mode. So for the HP Omen, we see 7 hours and 27 minutes at streaming video playback. For the Legion Pro 7i, 7 hours and 10 minutes at streaming video playback. And for the Legion Pro 5i, 5 hours and 17 minutes streaming video playback. Now, this is interesting because the smallest battery size is going to be the Legion Pro 5i at 80 watts. Then you have 99.99 watts on the Legion Pro 7i and 97.04 watt battery size on the HP Omen. The HP Omen edging out the competition by just a little bit. Now let's talk about the weight and thickness of each of these laptops. Now, the thinnest laptop is going to be the HP Omen, just by a little bit, 0.92 versus the 1.02 and 0.3 of the Legion series. Now, from a weight standpoint, the HP Omen is also going to be the lightest of the laptops at just barely over 5 pounds, but the Legion Pro 5i and the Legion Pro 7i aren't that much heavier, but the Omen is definitely going to be the thinnest and the lightest of the bunch. Now, looking at the size of the actual body, you can see that they're the same as far as the width. And as I stick that on top of the other one, we have the HP Omen on top of the Legion Pro 5i. You can see that it's actually a little bit bigger as far as the depth is concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and switch those over. You can see the 5i is now sitting on top of the HP Omen, and that ledge sticks out a little bit more than the Legion Pro 5i. So the Omen is a little bit bigger this way. Now, one thing I really like to look at when I look at the quality of laptops is the assembly. And I would say that I like the assembly a little bit more in the HP Omen. You can see how around the entire chassis of the laptop, it's a very consistent, smooth line. There's no interruptions for the way the bottom cover fits into the side panel on the HP Omen. When you go ahead and you look at the Legion Pro 5i, and the 7i is the same, except it's just aluminum versus plastic on the 5i. It doesn't really have a smooth transition all the way around. It has some disruptions here. It kind of bumps up, makes its way around, turns in here. And so it definitely has much more of a gamer vibe. As far as I'm concerned, I really like the more minimalist, clean aesthetic of the HP Omen on the bottom cover, the way it attaches. Now, speaking of the bottom covers, let's say we're going to pull those off and check out the upgrade path. For the HP Omen, you have access to both RAM sticks. You can upgrade this laptop from 32 gigs or 16 gigs up to, say, 64 gigs of RAM. But you only have access to one M.2 slot. There's only one M.2 slot in the HP Omen, so the boot drive is the only thing that you're able to swap out in order to expand your storage. Now, for the Legion Pro 5i and the Pro 7i, you have access to 2 RAM sticks, same as the HP Omen, except you're also going to have an additional M.2 slot. So you'll have one occupied and one unoccupied, so you can easily upgrade the storage in your laptop. You can add an additional, 4+ terabytes, depending on the size of drive that you can find. Now, most laptops are going to come from the factory with that one boot drive installed and unoccupied, unless you order it from Lenovo and add it to the package when you order your laptop from Lenovo directly. So that's up to you with the configuration options. All right, let's dive into the pricing, see what we have available here. Looking at the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i, you can see we have the 14th gen i9, 32 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 4080 for $2699. Now, you can get it at the Lenovo's website directly, starting at $2441. So a little bit better pricing over here at Lenovo, about $200 better in pricing if you want to save a little money.
Could even maybe have enough money to upgrade to, say, 64 gigs of RAM if you want that available to you. Now, if you want to save some more money, you can go for the Legion Pro 5i. Has the 14th gen i9, 32 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 4070 for $1,700. So it actually is nearly $1,000 off, but you're not going to get all that sweet performance of the RTX 4080. But if you look at later in the benchmarks and you don't need it, it could be a great way to save over $1,000. Well, just under $1,000. Now, you can also get it over at Lenovo's website. They have a number of options available, but the RTX 4070 version is starting at $1,592. But I'm guessing that's the i7 version. Let's see more here. Yep, that's the i7 version. If you want to get into the i9 version, it's going to start you off at $1,619. So compared to Best Buy, you can actually get a little bit better price. However, that's going to be that's 32 gigs of RAM as well. Okay, so far, Lenovo is offering the current best price for the Legion Pro 5. So that's a great deal right now. HP Omen, I was unable to find a 14th gen HP Omen on Amazon. Let's see here, we have the i9-13900HX, which you've watched. If you've watched my HP Omen versus HP Omen video, so it's the 14 versus the 16. The 13th gen is nearly as powerful as the 14th gen, just by like a little tiny hair. And actually, in some places, it outperforms the 14th gen because it's basically the same CPU, just rebranded. So keep that in mind. 13th gen might be a great buy for you to save some money. So if you jump up to the 14th gen on Best Buy's website, it's going to be $2,199 versus the $1,678 on Amazon. So could be some substantial savings there for you. All right, now as we head on over to HP, you can get the latest i9 with the RTX 4070. That'll put you back $2,079. So if you want the latest 14th gen, going to HP's website directly will save you about $100 on the purchase. Remember, links are in the description below if you're ready to make a purchase. You can use those links. It'll give me a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. But of course, that keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way.
Now, none of these laptops honestly have the best speaker experience. So here's a quick audio sample of each of them so you can hear, which one you think is the best of the three. And of course, they all have webcams along the top bezel. And here's a quick sample of each of the webcams so you can check those out for yourself. This is the webcam on the HP Omen 16 2024, and a little sample of the audio for you as well. This is a sample of the webcam on the 2024 Lenovo Legion Pro 5, and a little sample of the audio for you as well. This is the webcam on the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i from 2024, and a little sample of the audio for you as well. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at the open and close of the lid, as well as the screen bounce. This is one thing that really stands out to me when you look at the HP Omen versus the Legion Pro series. So I'm going to slide these over so they're more directly in the center. Now watch this. When I just go ahead and give it a little tap, the HP Omen screen is very bouncy. And for people who are on the go a lot, maybe perhaps you commute by train or Uber, taxi, or you fly a lot, you don't really want your screen to be bouncing all the time as you're working. And so that's something that happens a lot with the HP Omen. The Legion Pro series stabilizes very quickly. Now, since we have the same keyboard deck and trackpad on the Legion series, I'm just gonna flip these both around so you can check them out side by side. I personally like the keyboard on the Legion series a little bit better. Now, what's really interesting is, remember earlier how I showed you the HP Omen was a little bit on the deeper side, this measurement here? You can see that here. These are lined up directly at the back. So there you go. You can see those are lined up right there. And you see you have this extra bit of laptop on the HP Omen. So just a little thing to point out there. Now, I do like the larger trackpad on the HP Omen. It's nice and quiet compared to the Legion is a little bit louder. So I would prefer the HP Omen trackpad. However, the keyboard on the Legion series is more to my liking. I like the rounded keys at the bottom. They're nice and quiet. They have a really nice snap back. it just feels better to me personally. And I do like that the numpad is available. I know that for creators, the numpad, it becomes very valuable for shortcuts and different use cases. And so I think it's a really good addition. There are a bunch of extra keys here that can be good for use cases, but not as valuable as having the numpad. Now, one thing I really like about the HP Omen is the WASD keys, or this translucent color. So you can color the keyboard deck with the backlit RGB, change those to whatever color you want. And I like that feature. That's nice. You can quickly identify them. Without further ado, let's jump into the benchmarks to see which laptop has the performance that you need for your workload. Now, looking at Geekbench single core and multi-core, obviously the HP Omen and the Legion Pro 7i are leading as they have the i9 processor. As we move into some real world benchmarks here, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at Photoshop. You can see that the Legion Pro 7i is definitely leading the pack with the Photoshop benchmark. But keep in mind, the Legion Pro 5i is definitely a bit down the chart. But at 6,576, you're not gonna see a lot of performance lag inside of Photoshop. And in fact, we have 16 gigs of RAM in the Pro 5i versus the 32 gigs of RAM in both the HP Omen and the Pro 7i. So if you were to upgrade to the Legion Pro 5i to 32 gigs of RAM, you're gonna be upwards of 6,900 to 7,000 on the benchmark here, which again will put these laptops nearly neck and neck. And according to the prices that you saw a few minutes ago, really the best bang for buck right now is going to be the Legion Pro 5i. Now, moving down the line to Autodesk 3ds Max and Autodesk Maya, obviously the big winner is going to be that RTX 4080. Really, this is just giving you a perspective of a 4080 versus a 4070, and you don't have to watch multiple reviews. You can get all that information here, which is why I wanted to combine these laptops. So if you want max performance in Autodesk 3ds Max, Autodesk Maya, PTC Creo, or even SolidWorks, you're gonna wanna go with the RTX 4080. So if you want the HP Omen, you like the features, you like how it's laid out, upgrade to the RTX 4080 if you want the similar performance that you're seeing here with the Legion Pro 7i. However, if you're fine with the RTX 4070 results, then the Legion Pro 5i is gonna be the better bang for buck versus the HP Omen 16. So I hope this is really helpful, giving a very holistic buyer's guide here. And taking a look at drop frames. For 4K, none of these laptops are gonna drop any frames while video editing in Premiere Pro. Looking at 6K B-RAW, any of the laptops are gonna perform very well. You can see we have 24 drop frames for the HP Omen and 6K B-RAW, 327 drop frames for the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i, and then 0 drop frames for the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i. But honestly, even at that 300-ish drop frames, you're not even gonna notice that. And especially if you were to upgrade to 32 gigs of RAM, RAM does help with playback in Premiere Pro, it will improve that playback even better. So you're not gonna have any issues with 6K video editing. But most people today are still doing 4K video editing, especially since our phones can only display 1080p. Now, looking at the export times, the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i is definitely the clear winner with that RTX 4080, but not far behind is 2 minutes and 11 seconds from the HP Omen with the RTX 4070. And a tiny bit farther down the line at 2 minutes and 14 seconds is the RTX 4070 and the i7 processor out of the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i. So again, best bang for buck year over year seems to be on this channel is going to be the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i, in my opinion. Now, as we look at the 6K export time, that's where things start to spread out a little bit more. You can see we have the 11 minutes and 38 seconds from the Pro 7i. Down the line, we have a 16 minute and 34 second export time out of the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i, followed up by the HP Omen at 16 minutes and 42 seconds. So the RTX 4080 within the Legion Pro 7i makes a big difference. Because it isn't just the RTX 4080. I recently reviewed the Asus Republic of Gamers Zephyrus G16 with the Intel Core Ultra 9, and it has an RTX 4080, but it too got a 16 minute and 15 second export time. So keep in mind, it's that combination of the high TDP processor with the RTX 4080 that's giving us the really good export time. The HP Omen has a ton to offer here in this lineup. It's a thinner chassis, a bit lighter, has a glossy screen if you really enjoy the glossy screen as opposed to the matte on the Legion series, and it gets really solid performance with that i9 processor matched with the RTX 4070. However, I would say the best bang for buck of this lineup is going to be the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i. But the ultimate laptop, if you want top performance, is going to be the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i with the i9-14900HX and RTX 4080. Now the HP Omen, if you put the RTX 4080 into it, will get you close to the Legion Pro 7i. However, the Legion Pro 7i has continually been the most optimized laptop out of gaming laptops that I've reviewed, meaning that you can put the same components within it and you're going to see more performance come out of the Legion series as opposed to another brand with those same components. They just have done a really good job optimizing components in the Legion series laptops over the past couple of years. Definitely impressive. If you're ready to make a purchase or you want to check the live pricing, of course, links are in the description below. When you do use those links, it helps out the channel, gives me a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. If you're still looking to pick out a laptop, not quite sure what you want, more videos here help you with your buying decision. I'll see you in the next one.